Welcome everybody to the Board of Selectmen meeting for December 21st, 2023. It is 6:01 p.m. Can I please have everybody stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. So everybody's aware, we're recording via WCAT 12, WCAT 6, I'm sorry. And via Zoom, it's also being live streamed on Facebook. If anybody else is recording, please let us know so we can notify the rest of the public. Okay, first thing on the agenda, discussion and vote to accept the common victicular licenses for the following. And we make a motion.
Make a motion to accept the renewal of the common Vittler license for the following. All Town Market at 1300 West Main Street, Warren, Mass. Dunkin' Donuts at 1300 West Main Street, Warren, Mass. Dipping Donuts at 2370 Main Street, West Warren, Mass. George's Pizza at 991 Main Street, Warren. Mason's Grill at 14 Milton O'Fountain Way, Warren. Mass Appeal Pizza and Bread Company at 2162 Main Street, West Warren.
Okay, before we move on with that motion, everybody's good, there's no issues with any of them, right?
None.
Okay, so I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Rich Hacker, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. Okay, next thing on the agenda is discussion and vote to accept the Class 2 and Class 3 for the following. Make a motion.
Make a motion to accept the renewal licenses of Class 2 for the following. Copart of Connecticut at 600 Old West Warren Road in West Warren. Copart of Connecticut at 656 Old West Warren Road, West Warren. Warren Truck and Auto Repair at 550 Main Street, Warren. Mike's Automotive at 434 Boston Post Road, Warren. Mike Service Auto Body at 27 Spring Street, West Warren. Como's Inc. at 2400 Main Street, West Warren. Vigil's Junkyard at 388 Old West Warren Road, West Warren. Subaguru of Massachusetts LLC at 114 South Street, West Warren. Edward H. Spencer Inc. at 764 Main Street, Warren.
And those are all Class 2 licenses, and I'll second that. All in favor?
Rich Hacker, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. Make a motion for the Class 3.
I'll make a motion to accept the renewal licenses for Class 3 for the following. Copart of Connecticut at 436 Old West Warren Road, West Warren. Copart of Connecticut at 600 Old West Warren Road, West Warren. Copart of Connecticut at 656 Old West Warren Road, West Warren. Warren Truck and Auto Repair at 550 Main Street, Warren. Como's Inc. at 2400 Main Street, West Warren. Vigil's Garage at 366 Boston Post Road, Warren. Vigil's Junkyard at 388 Old West Warren Road, West Warren.
Okay, do we have any issues with any of these?
No.
Okay, I'll second it. All in favor?
Rich Hacker, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. Next on the agenda, presentation of the Fire Chief November monthly report.
Merry Christmas.
Chief, you're up.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for having me tonight. My name is Adam LaVoy, Fire Chief of Warren. In the month of November 2023, responded to 31 calls, fire-related calls. That included 8 motor vehicle accidents, 7 medical assists, 2 activated alarms, 1 carbon monoxide call, 1 investigation, 1 power line incident, 1 illegal burn. There was 5 calls were canceled due to false. They ended up not being a call we needed to respond to. 1 service call, 1 good intent call, 1 brush fire, and 2 oil burner issues. We responded to 60 calls for Warren EMS, and 12 ALS intercepts were required. We did 6 smoke and CO inspections, 1 oil burner inspections, 5 liquid propane inspections. In terms of meetings, Warren EMS did not actually have a training due to a scheduling conflict. We had an instructor cancel on us, so we had to reschedule that. Warren Fire, with the last month, this entire month, we basically focused on getting the new truck that came in service. It's still not in service yet. We're still working on mounting some equipment, doing driver training and familiarization with the pump and everything. So I expect that that truck will probably be in service more than likely by the end of the month or at some point in the beginning of January. So we're just still working on a few things there.
That's the brush truck?
That's correct, yes, the mini attack truck that replaced our old engine 5. That ended up going up to the high school for the program up there. We also received our new air packs in, so we've been training on those. We just did some our fit testing for our new masks on Wednesday, last night. So we've been working hard to get those in service. Those are in service on all of the trucks. Those have a 15-year life on them right now. They replaced our older ones. We have about a year left on those. But we wanted to get them ordered as quickly as possible because we didn't know how long they would take to come in because of supply chain issues. So we're keeping our old ones for the next year while they're still in service as spares for training and that kind of thing. But the new ones are in service. It's they're very similar to the old ones. It's the same company that we use. Very minor changes in some of the sounds they make and that kind of thing. So it didn't require a whole lot of orientation and training for the staff. So they're pretty happy about that. That was a capital planning project we've been working on for a few years that through the support of the board and the town, we were able to get that off. So both the engine project, or the brush truck project, excuse me, and the capital, the SCBA project were both big projects we've been working towards for a few years now, and they finally came to fruition. Watching the budget closely there, I don't see any major red flag issues as we've rolled along here. A few minor things I'm just watching, carefully, but we seem to be in okay shape right there. So.
Very good.
Okay.
Anything else?
Nope, we had a lot of other little activities. Police Chief Millette kind of touched on a few of the things. We've had committee meetings for the schools. I don't normally go into details on all of those things. I kind of just give you the call things, but we're always busy with different activities in the schools and the SAFE programs and all the other things that we do in between there and the different projects we're working on as the public safety stuff, all those things. So we're always busy. So it's not a bad
Busy
thing.
times.
Yeah.
But that's okay, because we got a lot of good things coming down the pipeline, a lot of good
That's
change.
right. Absolutely.
So, is there anything you guys need as a fire department?
I'm starting to wrap my head around, some of the stuff for next year's budget and everything. I mean, staffing is still continues to be a challenge. It's very, continues to be tough, especially on the EMS side of things. A suggestion I did make to Jim, and you may have seen in the notes that at some point I think that it's probably a good idea that we form some sort of, with a select board member, town administrator, myself, maybe Dawn, and maybe a few other people, that we start to look at like an EMS committee where, what can we do in the future? What's the best avenue? Where should our staffing be? Because we currently don't staff we staff 24/7, but on the overnights it's on call. You know what I mean? And our call volume is it's going up every year, and it's very hard to keep on-call EMTs, they're just not, the numbers are not there anymore, and that's across the board. It's just the industry of where we are. So, I think we're kind of at a stage now where we, really need to look at, what is the best option for us going forward in terms of how many people we truly need to make things around the clock, and staff a couple people in-house to get the truck out the door 24 hours a day. So, I look forward to maybe, an opportunity to start having those conversations and what makes the most sense for the town as our numbers continue to rise each year. There's no doubt about it, we're gonna blow our numbers out of the water again this year, by a pretty substantial amount. So, for a town of 5,000 people, we do a tremendous amount of calls, and it's certainly the call volume is there. So, little things like that, I look forward to having some conversations on what we can do going forward. I'm putting together, capital planning projects. We've knocked off almost every project on our ones that I've been keeping in the background. There's a few ones that I'm gonna put on there, but, generally speaking, we've had a lot of projects that we finished in the last, 5 years especially, so we've been pretty lucky there.
Have you looked at doing a staffing study?
Well,
I know police department had a staffing study done years ago, and that's probably expired now because they had part-time guys when the staffing study was done. So that was good to have because it tells you exactly who you have to have per shift.
Yep. Well, that'd be certainly something that, I would encourage that the town look at doing. There are other options on the table as well as, with supplementing, with another contract with a private ambulance service. I mean, there's just, I'm not saying I want to do that, I'm just saying that there's options to explore to see what's truly the best way to do it. Fire and EMS they're combined, they certainly are, but they're two totally different entities in the sense that, it's the EMS portion of things is become, just the industry itself is definitely has some issues. There's no doubt about it. The healthcare system we're seeing it on the emergency medical side of things. They're seeing it in the hospitals. The staffing is very tough these days to get people, to keep people, and there's just been such a change in the call volume and the types of calls that we go on. It's not as advantageous for people to become EMTs anymore. I mean, we've seen about a third of EMS providers across the country leave the industry in the last couple of years since COVID happened. So, and that's had huge domino effects across the board. So, it's very tough. There's about, we run that truck 24/7, and there's only, at this point, I've had a couple people retire or leave for personal reasons or job opportunities, and there's really about 12 to 14 of us that run that truck 24/7, and that includes the full-time people. So it's just, it's tough, and like I said, it's not just Warren, it's every town out there. We're all scrambling and doing what we can with less than we did before. Fire people are coming on, we're getting them out of the program, but a lot of them, they don't really have the desire to do the EMS side of things. It's just not something they want for the pay and for the liability and the stress and the types of calls you run. They just, not as many of them have the interest to go out and get their licenses for that anymore. It's just a reality that we're facing across the board. So, I look forward to those types of opportunities, and we're always, I pledge that we will always, do our best to service everything that we possibly can, and we always have, and we always will. But I think that there's certainly things we can talk about to maximize it and do it in the most effective way possible.
So is there a way we can make it incentivized as far as doing it? If a firefighter wants to get the EMT staff, certification, like maybe they get a 10% or something like that?
There's certainly something that we can, certainly things we can do. Recently we've been fortunate to have a couple EMTs come on that had their tuition for the classes taken care of through grants from Bay State. And that's good and bad. And the reason I say good and bad is that I've seen it work and I've seen it not work. The problem is that I believe people have to have some skin in the game in order to, it's a very intense class. It takes quite a while to get through. And while it's great that some people have had the opportunity to get it for free, but it's about the effort that goes into doing it. And I think that sometimes when someone gets something paid for fully, they may not put as much effort in, and if they, they're falling behind, well, I didn't pay anything for it anyways. And that's, so it's kind of a double-edged sword. So I think there has to be some buy-in from the people that want to take it, but certainly, we could look at ways to, what we used to do, because we just don't have the money to do it in the budget anymore because the classes are so expensive. You're talking anywhere from $1,600 to $2,000 a class now for an EMT class, and $10,000 for a paramedic class. And things are just way out of whack from where they used to be. And what we could look at doing is putting a line item in place where the person gives us 6 months to a year of service. After they get out, reimburse them for the class, or reimburse a portion of that class. So certainly there are incentive things that we could look at, down the road, where the person, they pay for it upright, they give us the time and service, they hit that mark, and we reimburse them for part of the cost. So certainly things like that are ways. But generally speaking, I think the EMS system has taken a real hit. We deal with a whole lot of calls nowadays that quite a large percentage across the board, again, across the country, are no longer emergency calls. They're mental health calls. There are other types of calls where the 911 ambulances that were supposed to be reserved for those 911 calls are just being called for everything now, and that's kind of where it is, because I think that we still have doctors' offices that are closed or short-staffed, and pediatricians' offices that are closed and short-staffed, and people are just not able to get into them like they used to, and so they call the ambulance instead. So the whole system has really been inundated with a lot more activity and a lot more requests for service than we ever have been before.
Have you thought about maybe training one of the guys as an EMT trainer?
Well,
And maybe we can conduct our own classes here?
That's a huge undertaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to be an instructor coordinator. I'm not saying that we don't want to do it, it's just that you have to have, in order to maintain your license for something like that, you have to prove on paper, even to be a CPR instructor, you have to put a certain amount of people through all the time. And I don't think we have that volume here unless we reached out and did classes for the community. I just don't know if that would be, I don't know if we'd be able to maintain enough volume, because most people that get those run private services where that's what they do. It's their job that's how they make their money, is they teach these classes. For one of my people to do it, it wouldn't be something they'd be doing professionally, it'd be a side thing, and I just don't know if the call volume. But those are different options that we can certainly look at doing, but, generally. Yeah, no, I get it. No, I mean, we're trying to, we're trying to put the newest people, we're trying to keep them motivated to get on the ambulance and join the ambulance, and we're always encouraging people to do that, but, it is an expensive class. It's a huge undertaking on top of going to the fire academy if they're gonna be a firefighter anyway. So you're talking, between the two of them, you're talking a year and a half almost of schooling to do it, and in a town like this, with our system the way it is, as an on-call fire department, they're doing it for nothing. And that's a very tough undertaking to ask them to do, to make that commitment and pay the money and that time to do that. So, I think I definitely think there's ways we can maybe improve, and kind of modernize where our service is going and where the industry is going.
Just let us know what you'd like to do, and, we're gonna try to help you the best we can.
I know.
And,
Yep.
do whatever you need to get to you, the people. You have to have the people. We're here to make sure we give you all the tools you can to get them and keep them.
I mean, ideally, I would love to have, a couple more full-time people. It would put us, kind of where, no, I'm just saying that the reality is that I need 2 people to run an ambulance.
Absolutely.
I need 2 people, not 1. I have to have 2 licensed people on there. And the only way to do that, and the only way to run 24/7 and keep people in rotation, is to do what other fire departments are doing and run 24 hours a day and run 24-hour shifts where the problem is our stations are antiquated. We don't have sleeping space. We don't have any of that, but
We're working on that.
Yeah, no, I know, and that's what it is. But I mean, we've reached a point where our call volume is this, and it's pointing us in this direction, and the services requests are here, and we're kind of back here because of the way our department has been set up for over the years. We're just, it's always going to be a call department. There'll always be call members. It's not what I'm saying, and they're great people, and they do an amazing job. But, at the same time, we have to keep our staffing for EMS side up there as well. So it is what it is.
So here's a thought. I don't know what you think. I think because it's been a long time since, I don't know, when's the staffing study been done for the police department? Isn't that like 10 years ago?
No, 2019.
Yeah.
Was it 2019?
I believe so, yeah.
But that was before you lost all your part-time.
Yeah.
So
I used to have 7.
it's changed now
It's
since,
Probably,
I used to have
out of
15
date too,
cops,
but-
now I have 8.
yeah. Maybe we can look into like doing a staffing study for the 2 departments, to identify what their shortfalls are. So this way you guys can go to the town meeting and say, hey, we've had a study done on this, we're far below, or the opposite, we're over, we have more than enough. I highly doubt that's gonna happen, but at least you have something that's a third party saying, you need these people to run efficiently on your department.
Do we get a grant to pay for that?
Jim will find one.
Possibility. So next year, around this time, we'll be eligible for some additional grants from the state for best practices under the Community Compact. We were not eligible this year because we got them last year. So we have a year to sit out. So there's a possibility that, one of those, at that particular time, we could get a grant to do that. And that would actually tie in pretty nicely because the wage classification scale will be up after next year, right? After fiscal year 25. So you may want to also incorporate into that staffing study a wage study to make sure that, are we paying people appropriately throughout the whole town? So
Just remember, police department, their collective bargaining unit, so you're gonna have to notify the union of that study too, correct?
It's just a study.
Yeah, I don't think you have
Yeah,
to
but
first study,
those are things.
only if you're gonna implement something.
The other option too, that there
Well-
is a very
It's always good to
specific,
notify them, not
Yeah, we
need
can.
to.
Yeah.
there is another grant that I have not applied for yet. Does come around once a year. It's called a SAFER grant. And the SAFER grant is specifically for fire department staffing. It's through the state, and basically what it does is you can apply for the grant, you can, justify why you need this, and basically they will supply the salaries for the first year to 2 years, if not more, of those personnel if you're awarded the grant. The town would slowly pick up those salaries over a time period of up to 5 years. So the potentially, I would never apply for anything like that without the permission from the board and the town, but obviously, because they're on the hook eventually for those salaries. So, but there is another option out there that, if it's determined that we truly really need some people and run 24/7, then we have an option of applying for that grant. And then slowly, over a period of several years, the town will absorb the full salary of those. But usually the first couple of years are paid for by the state, if you're awarded the grant.
Okay. You have any thoughts?
No? I think it's a good idea.
I just think unfortunately, it's a sign of the times, and our numbers aren't lying. I mean,
It's everywhere.
we have never been this busy ever, and the amount of call volume has gone up as tremendously over these last few years has been unprecedented. It's just continues to climb.
I'm hearing a lot of violent crimes happening in small towns now and places where you never had violent crimes, and it's increasing, like, a lot and fast. And unfortunately, towns, they don't have the people to do it. Look at the police department. You guys just grabbed an illegal gun off the streets because of somebody speeding.
Yep.
Fire department, how many drug overdoses do you deal with in town each week?
A lot, multiple, and it's, and like I said, it's just the dynamic of the calls have changed. That's the issue. It's a constant all the time. That truck rolls everywhere, and it's for everything from a minor, tick bite to a slip and fall to a major call. But a lot of what we do now is mental health based, and that's totally different than anything we've ever done before.
And I know some towns are actually getting grants for having a mental health clinician on their staff. It's all paid for by the state.
Yeah.
And that clinician goes out to the calls with you when you need them. So I know a few towns that have used them, and it basically, you're not being the therapist anymore, and you hand it off to them, they deal with it, and they get them any services that they need. So, but it's getting sad that that's what it's coming to too.
And we can't deny anybody calling 911. We have no choice. We don't, it's not like we can get there and determine it's not a true emergency and we turn around and leave. We have no choice but to respond if somebody calls 911. We don't get to pick and choose what calls we do, so.
The liability, if you did,
Yeah.
is just too
Yeah.
much.
If someone wants to go to the hospital, they go to the hospital. That's the way it is.
No.
Did you have anything, Mr. Farrar?
Thank you very
Chief,
much.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
We always appreciate the support.
Good job. All right. Review and possibly vote on the contract between the town and the Emergency Management Procurement Grant, the EMPG anticipated vote. Okay, Mr. Farrar, did you have something?
Mr. Chairman, I did receive word from Mr. McKeon. He is out taking care of the roads, sanding some of the icy spots, so he's not gonna be able to be here this evening for this. But this is a grant that emergency management has gone after historically, year after year. It's just a simple state grant contract. The board chair could sign. It's for $2,700. And the emergency management group is looking to purchase a trailer to store and house emergency management equipment that is down the road.
Okay. Do you have any questions, sir?
No? Sounds good.
I'm good with it. Make a motion?
Make a motion to accept the contract between the town and the Emergency Management Procurement Grant.
Okay. I'll second it. All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. And I'll sign for that.
You can have Rich sign below, and then you, Mr. Chairman, as the authorized signer.
You are going to witness, he is going to sign up here,
Okay.
and then there, for him, not you.
Do I need my phone number, email, all that stuff?
I'll do it.
All right, you have 2 spots on this. First page and second page.
So I'm authorizing signature for contractor, correct?
Mhm. Yes.
The top of that grid,
Right there?
right here.
No.
Yeah, that's what she said. Right, it's in on the
Yes,
grid?
yep,
Mm-hmm.
It's in the box?
Yeah.
yeah, right in there,
Box.
yeah. Authorized signature name, so you just put your name in the title.
Am I supposed to sign there? Just print the name, right?
Yep, name and title, yep. That's giving you the authorization to sign the front page of the contract.
Thank you for authorizing me to sign the other page.
No problem.
He's witnessing that it's you that actually signed the first
Yes.
page.
Got it on Zoom.
And verify it. Check my
No, I didn't.
Your card.
Alright.
Sorry, guys, where's construction fire?
Hey.
Have a good, oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas,
Merry
everybody.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Discussion and, no.
Mhm.
Yep,
So
possible
not-
vote.
On turning on or fixing the sound.
Yep.
Yep, no, I'm doing one below. Discussion and possible vote on turning on and fixing the sound for the old town hall's clock tower. Okay, so I've been getting, some residents asking about the clock tower. They would like to hear the bells again. I think it's a great idea. It's historical for our community. It'd be nice to hear them again. We had the clock tower lit up. It'd be nice to be able to hear it do its chime again. I think it was shut off a while ago because a resident complained because they didn't like the sound.
Yep.
And
I think we're getting far too many residents saying they would like it back. I put a thing out on Facebook and people were asking about it, saying, yeah, they'd like to hear it back, and, you know, I know there was a concern whether it still worked or not.
I don't know if it works properly. I know they tried to like 5-6 years ago, but I think it was just for the music. I think it does chime, but it wasn't, they couldn't get the time to work. I know there was a problem
So-
with it going off at midnight at 12 times.
So if we
something like that.
authorize this and say, yeah, are you gonna be there tomorrow?
Yep.
I'll stop in tomorrow and we'll try to get it running. I'll try to get it running. Or electrocute myself, either
He
way,
looks a little skeptical.
either way. But we'll work on it, I'll work on it and try to.
Isn't your day off?
I know where to jam screwdrivers to make it work.
Yeah. Well, it's that big like machine, right?
Yeah,
It's the-
Yeah,
the
but it
rack
also
and-
had a flood.
Right, yeah, the ceiling, right?
The ceiling collapsed on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean it ruined it. If we turn it on and it starts smoking, then we leave the building.
Can you call Adam?
Yeah.
We call Adam. So,
Yeah, let's do it.
okay. Did you have any questions about that? Jim?
Oh, me? No, no.
10 a.m.?
10 a.m. Like, moving around until like 11.
What?
Come on now. It's my day off. My only day off. What, why, you could leave it early tomorrow?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Okay.
I got something to do in the morning.
I just need you to let me in.
Oh, no problem. I'll let you in up there.
Have at it.
You wanna help?
I'll check on
I
you.
can't tomorrow.
Okay.
Good save.
He's like, yeah, I want nothing to do with that. All right, so we'll get it working. Anybody have any questions or comments about it? Anybody don't wanna hear it on?
Just make sure it's on the correct time, because the one at the church chimes 5 minutes to 8, and I always freak out because I think I'm late.
Well, it's whatever the clock's set to.
No,
What do you mean, no?
they're two separate things. That's what they were having problems with back in the day. Even though the clock would say 12, it would chime like 3, or it was all over the place.
Right, because
Well, that's just set.
the big clock is all mechanical.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Has
And then
nothing to
the
do
other
with
thing is
time.
a digital clock, running a tape machine or whatever it is.
Okay.
So they just have to be relatively close.
So if anybody hears the bells going off tomorrow around 11 o'clock in the afternoon, 11 o'clock in the morning or noon, and it's ringing all different times, it's because I'm trying to get it going. So please don't like yell about it. I'm just trying to get it fixed. We'll figure it out. But does anybody have any concerns about it being on, or no, yes?
There's nobody on Zoom.
Nobody on Zoom, nobody.
Like I said, if there's a way you can shut it off at night, it probably, no one wouldn't matter to anyone.
Turn it up louder.
Yeah, at midnight when it goes off 12 and you living right down the street from it, that's when they were,
Yeah.
'cause it goes off 12 times at midnight.
Mhm.
Then 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m.
Well, there's a volume on it.
There's a really good clock maker in North Brookfield that fixes clocks.
We need
So
money
if
for
it
that.
gets to that
We
point,
need money for that, though.
if it gets to that point,
Yeah, but does he know how to do these electronic
oh, I'm sure he does.
tape machine things? Yeah.
Alright. So, yeah, let's, well, we got it here as we don't, yeah. We got it as a possible vote. So let's vote to turn it on.
I'll make a motion to turn the clock on.
Well, the
I mean,
chimes,
turn the chimes on.
bells, whatever. Alright, I'll second that. All in favor?
Rich Hacker, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. So we're gonna turn the alarm, not the alarm, the clock bells back on.
Yeah.
Be good to hear. All right, good job. Discussion on recognizing Citizen of the Year and Employee of the Year. So, this is something that's been brought to me. And people are asking, why'd we stop doing Citizen of the Year?
When was it stopped? Cause it hasn't been done in a while, right?
Yeah, well, it hasn't been done, but,
The last one I found was 2012.
Ooh.
so we haven't done it in a long time. I think it's a really great idea we start doing it again. This is probably something we wanna have a committee for, right? Start a committee for it,
Sure.
and, you know, have people nominate it, nominate a citizen of the year, and, you know, have a committee for it.
Well, we could
Or do
certainly,
we,
What I found is you put
Oh.
out this notice, and then they do nominees and nominated by
you were nominated for citizen of the year?
what?
2013.
Yeah, 2013.
I don't think I got it.
Well, you would've known if you got it. Well, they stopped in 2012.
No, I guess it was 2013.
Oh.
This letter is January 2012, but I found
When I
this.
got nominated, they just shut it down.
Yeah, they're like,
No, this is a corrupt system.
Wow. Alright.
But it's interesting, if you read this letter, you said employees, it says that the board discourages nomination of town employees if the reason for the nomination is associated with their employment in town.
Right.
Huh?
So in other words, if you volunteer for a whole bunch of other stuff and it has nothing to do with your actual job in town, you can be nominated. But if they wanna nominate you because you're doing a really good job, then
Well, that would be employee of the year.
Yeah, but you put employee of the year on the line item here, so.
Yes, because.
two different things.
Two different things.
But I couldn't find anything on employee of the year.
Yeah, because we don't recognize our employees. We should. They work really hard.
I would just, for employee of the year, I would just take nominations from the employees then,
Well,
right? And the citizen of the year
department.
could be broader.
from the department.
Yeah, you know, but, you know, it's like an internal thing, so.
Yeah. But we'd have to establish, you know, some sort of policy on this, right?
Mhm, mhm,
To make sure it's fair and equitable,
mhm.
how the process would be done. Do you know any other towns that we could probably grab something from?
Yeah, I mean,
utilize?
there's other things that, you know, for, on the employee side, you know,
Yeah.
there's things that are done. You know, there's, I think, I know, one town, I think, did something where they offered, maybe they actually put together a whole, you know, program, and they budgeted for some money, and, you know, they put $250 as a,
Cash award.
you know, an award, where, you know, it was given out, whether it be quarterly or biannually to employees that have gone above and beyond. You know, they took out managers, you know, from.
Yeah,
from-
managers shouldn't be.
Should, you know,
yeah.
from that as part of the policy,
Yeah.
and, you know,
Should go to the employees.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, one of the big issues we had, or we still do have with the government, is a lot of times these employee of the quarters or employee of the year are all people that work in offices and not actually the frontline workers and the people
Mhm.
doing jobs and out there doing stuff. And it's always the same groups of offices that do it because they're the only ones that nominate anybody ever.
Mhm.
You know, because everybody else is too busy doing jobs.
Yeah,
So, but yeah, I think we should write up something, you know, come up with something, and, you know, if another town has something, maybe, look at that and establish an employee of the month, well, do at least employee of the year. I don't know if you wanted to do like employee of the quarter.
You don't even have to tie it to a timetable. You could just, you know, just roll it out as like an employee recognition program. And, you know, as employees, you know, go above and beyond, they can be nominated and recognized.
Well, we could always do that as far as selectmen and give them a letter
Mhm.
from the selectmen, but I'm thinking something more formal. You know, you see all these people's pictures and stuff out there receiving plaques
for Citizen of the Year, but we do have some real good employees that really go above and beyond. And technically, as an employee, the previous selectman in 2012 has established that employees should not be getting it. Although,
Well, it discourages nomination of town employees if the reason for the nomination is associated with their employment.
well, yeah,
So it would be like Jim McKeon, for all his work on the highway
Yeah, but he-
department, couldn't be Citizen of the Year based on that. But if he did a bunch of volunteering, then you could do,
but you gotta remember,
Citizen
he's
of
an
the Year.
employee of CERT, he's, employee of Highway, he's an employee of,
but that's what they're saying, is you can't
well,
nominate.
he's on the
based
Parks
on-
Committee, right?
Mhm.
You could do employee of the year, but you wouldn't nominate him, based on those things for Citizen
Right.
of the Year.
Right.
But if you, I don't know, volunteered for, March of Dimes or Toys for Tots, I don't know, something outside of the town, then you would be
Right.
eligible for Citizen.
Because it would be different,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's still not recognizing hardworking employees.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure, Chief got guys that are really going above and beyond for him, same thing with Chief Millette. Sure, Jeremy has people that are
Downstairs
going
right now.
above and beyond, huh?
I got 2 guys downstairs, 3 guys
Absolutely.
down there right now.
Mm-hmm.
Two guys that are busting their butt down there and to help kids out.
And had a wrap presence and was here until all hours of the night last night.
Yeah, they said they were, when I seen them, they said they were gonna stay for like just an hour. And from what I'm hearing is they stayed much longer than that.
He even roped his
Because they
wife
got a
into
lot.
it.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
She's
She
in
should get
charge.
Citizen of the Year.
Yeah.
There you go. But yeah, I think we really need to start recognizing our people, our residents and our employees for doing a good job and stepping up. And I'll buy a plaque, I'll buy plaques for these people and give it to them.
Mhm.
But we should really, it's a fire truck, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe a couple,
Yeah, he said a structure fire was happening, that's why he rushed out.
yeah.
And where, yeah.
Bit of
And
time
where?
to-
Mhm.
Oh,
It's a big one then. So what do you think?
yeah, I think both would be good. I would do Citizen of the Year once a year.
Yeah.
And I would do Citizen of the Year, duh. I would do Employee of the Year once a year too. It just, if we do it too often, then it's just like, you wanna make it special, so I would do once a year.
So employee of the year and citizen of the year?
And I mean, you could, if there were 2 officers that worked on a toy thing, you could nominate 2 people for employee there. I don't see why that would.
Employees of the month.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why it doesn't have to be one person, but you just do once a year and you recognize people. Same thing with citizen. I mean, if there were 2 people who worked hard together to do something, do them both.
Okay. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's a good program. I think you can formulate something around also, if for the employee aspect of it, around evaluations, performance evaluations too. So, I know that some employees, when doing their evaluations this past year, they said, well, I got a good evaluation. What am I gonna get? I said, well, you're gonna get a big thank you for right now, but, in the future, we're gonna, try to develop this and take it to the next level and try to, do something for.
We had to start with something, we really had no standardized evaluation process.
Right.
So, now that we have that,
Yeah, we could build on it.
we can build on it and start recognizing the employees and, go from there. Right. Yeah.
So I think we need to establish a date for both, so we can say 2 months ahead of time, you know, send in your nominations, cause we'll pick on September 1st, or something like that.
Mhm.
So give people,
We'll
some
start-
heads up.
When do you wanna give them out? The end of the year or at the end of the fiscal year?
yeah, or whenever.
That would
yeah.
determine,
Yeah, it could be any time, but just pick a date.
Typically they go by calendar year because you're going by
Yeah.
year 2023, employee of the year for 2023. You know, if you go by fiscal year,
Yeah, I would do
It's
calendar
still-
year. And you could make it, you know, make it by January 31st, so you give, you know, the full year for people to pick somebody. Cause maybe somebody
and then
does
in
something great
January
on
they're
29th
awarded.
of December, yeah.
that's what.
In the end of
that's what they
January,
do.
we do an award.
January 31st.
Is that what it was? Yeah,
January
yeah,
19th
that's
right
perfect.
there
Yep,
for that.
we could certainly solicit
Well, you
nominations.
were nominated in February 2013,
I guess so,
and then this one was March.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's actually do a policy on this. We'll work on a policy and, you know, we'll come up with something saying when nominations are due
Mhm.
and, you know, a committee, we'll establish a committee for selection of, you know, say, Citizen of the Year, and we'll do, you know, probably say Selectmen for Employee of the Year.
Sure.
Nominations will be to the Selectmen, Board of Selectmen by such and such date, and the award or decision will be on such and such date, and the award will be issued
Mhm.
in January,
Yeah,
so.
and what we'd need like a letter of recommendation,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah. So you're working on that?
Yep, we'll get that drafted up for you and we'll, put it on one of the upcoming meetings
All right.
After the next two.
after the next two. So give me some time to draft up the policy.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think we're in a hurry to do this.
No, I just wanna be able to get it established, get something codified, so when we
can look
move
at it.
forward, even if we're gone, the next selectmen have something that's there, you know, to do this process, and it just doesn't go away again.
Mhm.
Because apparently it went away in 2013, and,
Yeah,
you know, haven't done it
We say
since.
February 1st?
Sure.
Okay, very good. Great. Did you wanna talk any more about it, or you good?
no, I'm good.
Did anybody wanna talk about that at all? Chief, what do you think?
Well, I think it's a good idea.
Okay. Do you have any suggestions?
For, how to do it?
Employee of the Year?
I would do it once a year. I wouldn't do it monthly.
No.
No, yeah.
Alright. Cool. Anything else?
No.
Thank you. Alright, moving on. We'll get that. Request from the town administrator to participate in the Massachusetts
Yeah, what is this?
Oh, it dropped down. It should be
Municipal Association Annual Meeting and Trade Show on January 18th to 20th in Boston. Anticipated vote. I think it's great. You went last year. Keeps up on the updates. I think it's absolutely something you should be doing. Do you want to do it?
Yeah, I would like to go this year.
Okay. All right. I'm good. You have any questions?
Nope. Send them.
All right. Let's do a vote.
I'll make a motion to send the town administrator to the Massachusetts Municipal Association Annual Meeting and Train Show.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Review dates to hold a project kickoff event with representatives from Weston and Sampson for the Wrights Mill Master Recovery Plan. Okay, we're kicking back and forth some dates, right?
Yes.
And we settled on
The 11th.
the 11th. Okay.
That was the before noon date? Yes.
So-
Yes, before noon date on the 11th.
Okay. And the 11th is a Thursday, right?
Thursday, yeah. So I did also reach out to Deb Bevan, and invited her. She's, she's very much interested in participating. She's very excited for the town to see this project take off. So
Can she do that date?
she can.
Okay.
She can.
Right.
If the board is okay with that date and we could, do that time, then I can confirm that with Weston and Sampson. I can confirm it with Deb Bevan. We'd also would need highway, sewer,
Jeremy never got back to us,
right, sewer.
and they never got back to us, right?
And so what time on the 11th? 10 o'clock? Is that? Or
Yeah.
we're just saying the morning right now?
Yeah, it can be, as long as it's before noon, and they said it was only gonna last about
Well, there's-
an hour.
Okay, so 10 or 9, 10 o'clock, something like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
9 or 10 would be fine.
Okay.
I'm sure they're probably, Jeremy would
Let's
have
do
a
10.
problem with it.
10, okay,
You wanna do
10
10?
o'clock?
Yeah, 10's good.
10, okay. So we're gonna do the 11th at 10 a.m., right?
Yep.
Okay.
Here in the Selectmen's meeting room?
Yep.
Yes, January 11th. Okay.
Okay, I'll send it out.
Thank you.
I don't think Jeremy cared because he works Monday through Friday now.
Just making sure I put it in here, so. Save.
And Brett, she'll be there too, so I need to do a meeting notice.
Yep.
We gotta let Derek know too.
Yep.
Will do.
Should we invite anybody from Rights?
Bill?
Bill?
Well, Bill's only an employee.
Right.
We probably wanna invite the owner or their, they have the property manager. That's, I forget what his name is.
Bill's the property manager, isn't he?
No, Bill's the
Facilities.
custodian and,
Oh.
Night watchman.
yeah, he's technically the night watchman, but he takes care of the property and stuff. But he doesn't have any authority to say what happens there.
Oh, Tony Marcotte?
Tony Marcotte,
Mm.
yep,
Okay.
so we'd have to invite him,
Yeah,
see if he can
Okay.
come.
I got his contact information, I gave
okay.
it to Karen.
Cause I'm sure they'd be happy that we're actually doing stuff to
Mm-hmm.
try to get that place going again. Right. Anybody have any questions about that? No? Right, moving on. Announcement from the state on the disbursement of FY '24 fair share funds, a portion of Chapter 90 funds warned to receive $176,088 in grant funding. Okay, Mr. Farrar?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We were just notified on Friday, and the governor, you may have seen, recently made an announcement, it was either Friday or Monday. She made an announcement stating that one of her initiatives when she took office was to make sure that municipalities across the Commonwealth were getting their fair share of funding, whether it be Chapter 90 funds or other grant funding that is out there that is made for communities across the Commonwealth. So they took a allotment of money that they had, and this allotment of money is based on road mileages in town, populations in town, and so that everybody is getting a fair share of what they have to maintain their roads in their communities. And they came up with a formula, and they were able to disperse buckets of money in addition to your regular Chapter 90 money. And this is entitled the Fair Share money for fiscal year '24. And this is an addition above and beyond Chapter 90 funds that Warren will be receiving for fiscal year '24, and that's for $176,088. So this will help us maintain roads even more, and be able to do some improvements to some of the existing roads in town above and beyond regular Chapter 90 money.
Do we
So
know
Jeremy
what
know about this money yet?
Yes, I did call him and let him know,
Okay.
and he was really excited about it. He knew that there was going to be some type of formula coming out. He just didn't know exactly how much and how it all broke up. But I did let him know that there may be an additional allotment of this type of buckets of money coming out in February or March. They're still working on it, but this is an additional help for communities.
Do we know the regulations of this money?
Just as you would Chapter 90
It's
funds.
Chapter 90 money.
Yeah.
Okay, so, yeah, okay, cool.
Any chance we could use Chapter 90 money to fix up the bridge in the center of town?
What bridge?
Train bridge.
The train bridge.
I don't think so. I mean, maybe you could pave underneath it.
Well, technically, we own the railings and the walkways that go underneath there. So that's not the train.
Yeah.
But in terms of painting it, probably not.
Probably not, well, we know we'd have to have it stripped professionally, abated, because there's lead paint on the bridge. That's the
Funny
heat.
sounds coming
I
out.
thought it was raining. But because there is lead paint on the bridge, we'd have to have it abated or at least sealed,
Hmm.
you know. But if we can use that money a little bit to do some maintenance on it, as far as like maybe fixing up the railings and adding some lighting under the bridge,
I don't believe lighting would be covered under Chapter
No.
90.
Yeah.
just roads and sidewalks.
Roads, sidewalks, those types of improvements.
Culverts.
Equipment for roads and.
Mhm.
So another thing that was brought up is, and I don't know if Jeremy, if we even would have the money or how much it would cost, is to get one of those paving machines. Because we spend a lot of money having somebody else pave our roads. If Jeremy had his own, maybe we could do our own roads. And we don't have to pay for it.
Okay.
We just
I
pay
know
for the
nothing
insurance.
about that kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
It may
was-
be better to rent or,
It was brought up to me, so I have no clue how
Yeah.
much they cost,
I don't know.
Yeah.
but I'm sure they
And we
cost a
also-
lot of money.
Special training too. I
Yeah,
mean, there's major training to run those machines.
Alright, well, awesome, we got more money,
yeah.
Mhm.
we need it,
Mhm.
let it keep on coming in. Alright. So, next thing is discussion and possible vote on the letter to Mass Historical Commission about the South Warren Cemetery, anticipated vote. Okay, so this is their letter they've done, and it's just describing that we support them approaching the Massachusetts Historical Commission about getting the South Warren Cemetery on the National Register for historical sites. Now with this, we can give them the letter saying, yes, we support it, but it might not go anywhere beyond that because we don't even know if we own it. So, I think it's okay if we give them the support,
Hmm.
but there's gonna have to be some research going into if we can declare somebody else's property as a historical site. What do you think?
Yeah, it's fine. I say we vote yes and let it sort out as it does.
Okay. And I know Derek's name's on here, but he's absent for it. So do you have anything on that? What are your thoughts?
That's totally up to the board. Like I said, you know, the only caveat to all of this is to sort out who actually owns the property.
We're not saying we own it.
Right.
We're just saying, yes, we support the nomination
Yeah,
to do it.
yeah.
So I think we're good on that, because we're not trying to eminent domain somebody else's property in any way, because we just don't know who owns it.
I don't think it matters who owns it. We're just supporting the nomination.
Right, that's all we're doing.
So it could be established it's a private, and as long as that private party is interested in doing this, then
Yeah.
we've given our support, so,
Yeah. I'm good with it.
yep. I'll make do we need to vote?
Yes, set a vote.
All right, I'll make a motion to support the nomination of the South Warren Cemetery to the National Register of Historic Places and sign and send the letter to the Massachusetts Historical Commission.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Rich Hacker, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. We're good.
Well, we can still get Derek to sign it. We voted it in.
Yeah, we voted in last meeting too,
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
so, and you voted for approval. You just second voted it.
Yeah. Yeah, so just have him sign it whenever because it'll look better if we all, especially because of the line.
You know, that's a historical document right now.
Exactly.
Give you a little check mark on it.
Yeah. That's how I want to be remembered 100 years from now.
Who is that guy?
Yeah, we can't read his name.
I think his name was Rick, or Ricardo or something.
Yeah, Ricardo.
All right. Now warrants and bills.
I will make a motion to pay the following warrants. Payroll number 29, $59,745.65. Vendor number 30, $56,830.20.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Rich Hacker, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. Motion passes unanimously. Bills.
I'll make a motion to pay the following bills. Petty cash reimbursement for Selectmen, $68.18. Enviro signs, $5,667.77. BG Mechanical Services, $1,563.50. Northeast IT, $280. Modern Pest, $100. National Grid, $2,181.38. Garaventa USA, $1,225. Buffon Cleaning, $1,350. Stericycle, $124.45. SBA Structures, $1,753.85. AK Industrial Services, $159,695. Tecton Architects, $12,600.
Okay. I'll second it. All in favor?
Rich Hacker, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. Minutes.
Can I just ask things like petty cash? Are you approving petty cash?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's if you look in your file.
Yeah, I just want to make sure there's another eye on
Yep.
whoever's doing it.
I sign off on all of them.
Yeah, okay.
See right here.
Yep, I'm just asking.
Yep. But you do have to sign this one too, after you sign that.
Okay.
Okay, minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for November 30th, December 4th tax hearing, and the senior abatement meeting on December 7th.
I'll second that.
No,
No,
tax
no.
hearing, December 4th, the tax hearing and the senior abatement, and then December 7th. There's a semicolon there.
So the same day. December 4th is the same day
December
as the
4th are
senior.
those two, and then December 7th
All
is
right,
separate.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for November 30th, 2023, December 4th tax hearing, December 4th senior abatement meeting, and the December 7th, 2023 meeting.
Okay, I'll second that. All in favor?
Rich Hacker, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. The motion passes unanimously. Town Administrator report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a few items just to report onto the board this week. Number one, Northeast IT, as you guys approved the bill, did come in for $280. They updated some of the RAMs and some of the computers that were lacking, so that it would support the upcoming Windows adjustments. So it was a minor thing that needed to get adjusted immediately. That was done last Friday, and so those have been adjusted for and taken care of. We also had the vendor came in this week to do some preliminary work on in looking at our lights, our lighting situation. The electrician was in. I told him specifically that the board wants to have the lighting to go angled and pointed directly at the message board, so it shines right onto the message board so that people can see the messages on the board. He's working on getting some adjustments made to the locations for the additional lighting, as well as he's also going to be making some adjustments for adding some additional lighting in that driveway that's right out here in front of the Shepherd building, so it's more illuminated. But I also had indicated to Warren Electric that we don't want to make sure that it's not too bright that neighbors start
Yeah,
complaining.
we don't want to bother neighbors.
The neighbors start complaining. So he understands it. He's going to be getting some fixtures for us, and hopefully on one of the warmer days, he's going to, because it's all outside work. He's going to have to do some piping and some drilling outside. So he's going to use his lift truck to do some of that, and so he needs to have a relatively warmer day out there to do that type of work. So he's going to be performing that as soon as the weather cooperates with him, and he knows exactly what the town is looking for. Also this week, we have received in a copy of our workers' comp audit. It's an audit that comes out to us every year by Maya. It's based on the number of employees that the town has and the wages, the actual wages of the employees. So the audit that period that the look back period that they were looking at was from July 1 of 2022 to June 30th of 2023. So essentially fiscal year 23. That was the year, as you may recall, when the wage increase happened. So wages went up quite a bit that year. So which, also combination brought our workers' comp to increase a little bit higher, okay, because of the wage increases. I also noticed while reviewing some of the documents that were supportive of the workers' comp audit that there may be some overlap in some of the departments, like for example, for the fire department, okay? There's a majority of them are EMTs, but their primary function is also firefighters. So firefighters are under CHUBS, under injured on duty. So if they're under CHUBS, injured on duty, the town should not be paying for workers' compensation for them, for their insurance. There's two types of insurances. For police and fire, it's CHUBS, injured on duty, and for regular classification of workers, it's workers' comp. We have two different policies. I noticed that there was potentially some overlap on some of our employees because their classification was classified as an ambulance driver, okay? And our ambulance people are also firefighters. So there was a classification question. I had submitted an email to the auditors to help us address this and to get a look back on that particular side of our audit. Hopefully, it will reduce some of the costs that we were assigned to this audit this audit cycle. Last year's audit cycle for fiscal year '22 produced the town a credit of like $900, a credit of $900. This year's audit produced a premium bill for a little over $4,600. So when I saw that jump in premium, I immediately looked at the audit and I said, why is this? Contributing factor, number one, wages went up significantly from fiscal year '22 to fiscal year '23, along with the fact that there's some overlapping in a department where we could be getting charged double. We're paying for workers' comp and we're paying for Chubbs. So I've been kind of working through that with our treasurer, with our fire chief, with Maya, and with the auditors. Nielsen is the auditors that they use for Maya. So it's taken up quite a bit of time this week to try to get this resolved, because we have until December 31st in order to, potentially challenge the audit. So I've been working on that. Hopefully, with the email that I sent out this afternoon, we'll have some, this matter getting addressed somewhat. And hopefully our $4,600 bill will be reduced, is the goal. So with that, we are also planning a very packed January. We're going at it real strong for the start of January. We have a department head meeting right off the bat on January 3rd. I've already scheduled out there. We're getting everybody back into the full swing of things, and we're going. We sent out our budget calendar, our budget instructions to every department, all the personnel, well in advance of the date. So it's giving departments even more time to really think about their budget, really fine-tune their budget, and really trying to focus in on going at this budget very methodically, in like a surgeon, right? So if there's something that we can do where we can make an adjustment, a modification, a savings, then let's try to do it as best we can to keep our budget in line. So that has been sent out to all departments. I'm working with, I got some dates and some feedback from our treasurer as to when she would be, I just got it back today, when she'd be available to participate with our capital planning, and she's excited to participate. And I'm going to be coordinating with our other capital planning committee members on dates and times, and the first meeting will happen in January. It will happen.
Very good.
And so we have that. We have obviously another thing that's up and coming is our master plan, our phase 1 master plan. The grant from Rural One Stop, the $75,000 that we were granted. CMRPC has expressed an interest in partnering with the town to do our phase 1. That will be coming before the board sometime in January, early January, to possibly look at partnering with CMRPC with that project and doing a kickoff relatively soon. Our phase 1 master plan, this is the master plan for the entire town. Our current master plan hasn't been looked at since 2006, I believe, was the time period. So it's definitely time, and CMRPC is really excited about partnering, possibly partnering with the town on this and get going on this. We're looking at a possible, kickoff time sometime in the end of January. We have Entree Technologies coming in on the 10th. I know Selectman Belize is going to be participating in that meeting at 9 for a possibility of an IT provider, and looking at some costs associated with that, and weighing that in. We also have our cable licensing hearing potentially. That's for the 4th, and that's at 6. I know Travis and Jeff Blake have been going back and forth along with Comcast on narrowing down some of the the more minute particulars of the agreement, and they're hopeful that, that there may be some minor adjustments between now and then, but you should have also received a copy of the draft in your email. I know Karen sent that out, so that you guys can review before the hearing. We've been busy putting together, just working with departments on finalizing some stuff, some year-end stuff. I know that the tax collectors have been working around the clock. She just got all the stuff in to send out all the bills. I checked with her today. She's working very diligently to get the bills out on time, and to make sure that everything goes very smoothly and seamlessly in that aspect of it. On the 4th, there will also be a discussion on, we have deputy collector services for taxes, which is now Jeffrey and Jeffrey. We also have to look at, the possibility of deputy collector services for parking tickets. And so I know Jeffrey and Jeffrey has a proposal put together, a simple proposal, and that will be coming before the board in early January for consideration, to look at, to secure their services. Other than that, that's about it that we've been wrapping up this week.
Very good. All right, well, thank you very much, Mr. Ferrara. Do you have any questions?
Department head meetings, what time?
9 a.m.
9 a.m. And so I took home a big folder on the cable agreement, the one that was emailed. Does that email replace what I have in that
Yes.
folder?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
There may be some similarities to it too, but that's the latest. The one that was emailed was the latest.
All right. Could you print it out for me?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You wanna pick it up tomorrow?
Yeah, I could do that.
Or do you want me to print it tonight? Either way.
Yeah, if you could print it tonight, that would be easier.
Okay.
When did you send it?
Like a couple,
It was a couple days
few
ago,
days
wasn't
ago.
it?
Yeah.
Because I could print it right from here.
Well, you wanna print it to the big printer, you don't wanna print it to my little one.
Oh, never mind that.
Yeah, but you'd have the big printer. It's on, everything's on the network.
I don't think I have that one in here. Well,
Should be first floor.
Richco.
the cable license was when I did that. Why I'm trying to do that. You have anything else?
I will also mention that, that we have, I've been working with the sewer commissioners also this week in Ralph. We have 4 applicants we're gonna be interviewing on Tuesday for the, mechanic operator position,
Oh, yeah.
at the sewer plant. So, we reached out to 5, and we received 4 confirmations back of people that are interested in having an interview. We're still accepting resumes and cover letters for mechanic operator. This week, in the newspaper, the town accountant's position went in the newspaper. It's posted on the Mass Municipal website. It's posted on our website.
I think Paul's.
At St. Paul's? Okay.
It's posted on our website. It's on Indeed. We've gotten maybe 3 or 4 applicants so far for that position. So
For
anybody,
accountant?
yep, anybody interested in submitting, the deadline is still a ways away. It's January 16th, so we still have some time, and it will be re-advertised after the first of the year in the newspapers. We're trying to move forward with filling that position. In the interim, the assistant town accountant has been stepping up quite a bit and has been learning the system very good, moving along with minimal training.
Okay. Very good. Anything else, sir?
No?
Do you have anything else?
I do not.
I have no questions. Good job. Right. New business. Anybody have any new business?
I do not.
Okay. Old business. Any old business?
No?
Senior center? How's everything going over there?
Good. We have to circle back around. We're gonna have to do our, all the electricals done. I just have to sit with Sharon on the appliance issues, getting the appliances and working out, there's gonna be required to do some minor work of some adjustments within the kitchen itself, some demo, and some replacement of some cabinets and counters, that's gonna require some work. So we're
Okay.
hope to get that done relatively soon.
Which printer is the one over there?
First floor, Ruco.
Richco, isn't it?
Rico.
Rico?
First floor,
Rico?
first floor main hall, I think is what it says. Yeah, I think they have to put it actually
Yeah, I don't
on
have
your,
that on there.
yeah.
All I have is
Oh, okay.
the desktops. Sorry, that's right.
I can print it as soon as we're done. It won't take very long.
Yeah.
Okay. What else? Is that?
No correspondence.
No, I'm trying to think of any other
Oh.
old stuff. That's about it. Correspondence. Did we get any correspondence?
No.
No? Did you get any?
No, I did. Well, I got that thing about the grant that we got.
Okay.
But that's it.
Yeah, the only correspondence I already talked about is people asking about getting the bells working. There was that. And then, yeah, that was it. They were just asking about the bells. Comments and concerns. Do you have any comments and concerns here?
It's been a good year. We're looking forward to '24.
Yeah?
I think the town's in great shape at this point, going into 2024.
Absolutely. Great job, everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody's doing great. Just shows how much we can get done when the town applies itself. The
Mhm.
people in town.
Yep.
You can
People
get a
work
lot
together and get
Good.
along.
And, all right. Do you have any comments or concerns? No? Karen?
No.
Anybody from the public? Mr. Condrat? You okay?
Yeah. All right. The Board of Health needs to have a face-to-face with KP Law. We're having problems with condemned properties,
Mm-hmm.
and for the last several weeks, we've been having problems with non-resident landlords. Some of these buildings that people are living in are, in my opinion, uninhabitable.
Okay.
And it's not only sharing the buildings with rats. Some of them have major structural problems. There's at least one I know that 2 apartments are rented and they only have 1 exit. My opinion is some of these buildings are in violation of not only town bylaws, but state law. face-to-face with KP Law to see where we can go with this.
Some of the building stuff, I would recommend with the building commissioner, BJ Church. I would talk with her about that stuff as far as building codes and stuff, because she's our enforcement arm for that. With the Board of Health issues, you guys can issue demand letters to correct,
We've been doing that for 7 weeks.
and nothing.
We really need a face-to-face with KP Law.
Yeah.
Our next meeting is January 17th at 6 o'clock.
I can do a Zoom, keep the cost down, do a Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
You know, I would recommend, if at all possible, is if I could get a list of all, like the top properties that you're looking to go into housing court with violations, and the backing, the copies of the letters of the orders of correction, that I can, if you could put it all in a package for me, then I can go through it, give it to Jeff, he can take a look at it, we could have a discussion, and then I can have him, possibly join a meeting, like Rich had said, via Zoom or something. But I think it's important that I get that packet of information first.
Dan Tebow, the co-chair of the Board of Health, is our housing inspector.
Mm-hmm.
He would have all of that.
Yeah. And then I can, because then, if it's, 10 properties, if it's 5 properties, I can put them all together, I can let the Board of Selectmen know, I can give them a cost estimate as to, how much it could potentially cost us in housing court with all of these properties, and we can, see, maybe we have enough money to address the top 2 or 3 right now, but we can plan to address other ones, later. But if that list can be, from the absolute worst down to the somewhat palatable for right now, prioritize it, that would be helpful.
And see if we can get BJ involved too, because she has a lot of authority. The building department, she can make things happen.
So that packet could also go to BJ, right?
Oh, sure, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it could serve 2 purposes.
Yeah, because if you're saying there's structural issues
Yeah.
with a property, she should be notified, and probably the fire department too, because if there's a risk of a collapse or a fire hazard,
Well,
that's when Chief LaVoy would get involved too.
Dan told me he almost took a header down a flight of stairs because the stairs are not up to code.
Well, that's also, there could be issues with that too, because if it's pre-existing structure before the code, it might be grandfathered. And some houses were built where steps were small. And then later on in the code, they widened them, because they realized people don't all have little tiny feet. But, I would talk with BJ and see if there are any code violations, because she could go over there and check it too.
You're gonna have to get a hold of Dan because he's got the full list.
Okay, all right.
All right. Anything else, Mr. Conrad?
Merry Christmas. Happy
Merry
New Year.
Christmas to you too, and Happy New Year. Anything else, sir?
No.
Anybody else have any comments or concerns? No? Nobody's on Zoom.
Nobody's on Zoom.
I have no comments and concerns, other than Merry Christmas to everybody, great year. Everybody's done an outstanding job, and the town is in a much better place, as Mr. Ihawker said. And we're very proud of where the town is going and all the improvements, and we get great people working on these departments now, really taking these jobs serious and putting a lot into it. We got Mr. Ferrara here, we got Mrs. Dusty, Mr. Conrad, Ray, you're all helping, and it's greatly appreciated, and thank you very much for doing that. Everybody have a very safe and a very Merry Christmas, and I hope Santa brings you everything you want. So, next meeting, oh, everybody's good, right? Next meeting is, January 4th, 2024, the new year.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing, this is our last meeting for the year at 6 PM. So that's January 4th, 2024, at 6 PM.
That is a public hearing for Comcast,
And that is a public hearing for Comcast.
and it is posted.
And it is posted. Thank you very much. And that's to discuss the contract with
Mhm.
Comcast and between the town and WCAT 12, or WCAT 6. Years of saying 12, now I gotta get past that. All right, so
Motion to adjourn?
I'll second it. All in favor?
Richi Hacker, aye.
David Dufresne, aye. We are adjourned.